A player so gifted, so electrifying that even the greatest of all time can't help but stop and admire. A player who, at just 26, isn't just making an impact, he's rewriting what it means to be a superstar in the NBA. Enter Luka Doncic. Since stepping onto the NBA stage in 2018, Luka has defied logic with every game he plays, jaw-dropping step-back threes, no-look passes that feel like they belong in a video game, clutch performances that leave even battle-tested veterans in absolute disbelief. But here's what makes Luka's rise even more surreal. When LeBron James, one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball, starts singing your praises, you know you've arrived. And LeBron, he doesn't just respect Luka's game, he celebrates it. So, what do the NBA's biggest names really think of Luka Doncic? Let's start at the top, with the king himself. LeBron James has played alongside some of the most elite talent in NBA history: Dwyane Wade, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Kevin Love. So when he talks about Luka, his words carry serious weight. Now keep in mind, LeBron isn't just throwing around compliments. He knows exactly what it takes to take over a game, and when he hypes up Luka's step-back three, he's talking about one of the most devastating, unguardable moves in today's NBA. Luka doesn't rely on explosive speed or raw athleticism. He weaponizes footwork, patience, and elite shot-making to carve out just enough space, and when he gets to his left side, defenders know what's coming. But stopping it, that's an entirely different battle. It's a move that's buried teams in crunch time over and over again, and if LeBron, a player who's faced the best of the best, is calling it pretty damn dangerous, you better believe it's real. But LeBron's admiration for Luka doesn't stop at his ability to dominate individual games. He recognizes something even bigger. Luka isn't just another great player, he's a generational force. Think about that for a second. LeBron James, a four-time champion, four-time MVP, and one of the most accomplished players in history, says that Luka Doncic is giving him energy. That tells you everything. Luka isn't just another superstar, he's a game changer, the kind of player who can shift the entire balance of power in the NBA, the kind of talent that teams dream of building dynasties around, the kind of player that even LeBron James is excited to play alongside. Luka and LeBron's chemistry on the court has been so natural that some have compared them to an elite quarterback wide receiver duo. Let that sink in. LeBron James, one of the most complete basketball players ever, is calling Luka Doncic the quarterback. That speaks volumes about Luka's elite vision and playmaking. He delivers passes that thread the needle, cutting through defenses with pinpoint precision. And when you pair that with LeBron's ability to run the floor, finish at the rim, and outthink defenses, it's a nightmare for opposing teams. LeBron doesn't even have to work as hard for easy buckets anymore, because with Luka running the offense, all he has to do is make eye contact, run his lane, and trust that the ball will be right there. Now, it's one thing to have teammates hype you up, but what about your rivals? Draymond Green has built a career off of defensive intensity, high IQ plays, and shutting down the league's best scorers. He's battled against LeBron in the finals, anchored one of the best defensive teams in NBA history, and frustrated some of the greatest offensive talents of this era. Draymond isn't the type to give out empty praise. If he respects your game, you've earned it. And that's what makes Luka so unique. Even the smartest, most physical defenders in NBA history struggle to figure him out. Try to get physical, Luka absorbs the contact and still finishes. Try to double him, he picks apart your defense with pinpoint passes. Try to take away his left hand, he finds another way to destroy you. That's why Draymond sees Luka as a challenge. Because the best defenders don't just want to win, they want to test themselves against the absolute best. And right now, Luka is already one of the best. But Luka isn't just winning over legends and rivals, he's earned the loyalty of his teammates too. Kyrie Irving, Luka's current teammate and one of the most skilled players of this generation, understands the weight of superstardom. This isn't just praise, it's a veteran stepping up, recognizing Luka's potential and making sure he doesn't have to carry that weight alone. Kyrie has been in Luka's shoes before. A #1 pick as a teenager, a young superstar playing next to LeBron, a player with the world expecting greatness. And now, he's making sure Luka doesn't have to go through that journey alone. Because what Luka is doing right now, it's bigger than just points, assists, and highlights. It's about carrying the weight of greatness. And the NBA's biggest names know it. But as much as Austin Reeves respects Luka Doncic as an opponent, he knows that playing alongside him is a completely different experience. Having Luka on your team changes everything. If you move without the ball, Luka will find you. If you run the floor, Luka will reward you. If you space the floor, Luka will create open shots for you. Reeves understands that when you play with a true basketball genius, the game just flows effortlessly. All you have to do is be in the right spot, and the opportunities come to you. And for a young rising star like Reeves, there's no better player to learn from, no better superstar to grow alongside than Luka. Now, when Kevin Durant, one of the most unstoppable scorers in NBA history, speaks on your offensive game, you've reached an entirely different level of respect. And when it comes to Luka Doncic, Durant isn't just impressed, he's acknowledging Luka's transformation into an offensive juggernaut. That's Kevin Durant, one of the most skilled scorers the game has ever seen, breaking down exactly why Luka is now unguardable. When Luka first entered the NBA, his offensive arsenal wasn't complete. He relied heavily on step-back threes, floaters, and overpowering smaller defenders. Teams tried to force him into mid-range shots, tried to push him beyond his comfort zone, but now, there is no comfort zone to push him out of. Luka has mastered every aspect of scoring. Durant lays it out. Luka's offense has no weak spots. Three-pointers, deadly. Mid-range, automatic. Paint scoring, elite. Post-game, punishing. His game has evolved to the point where defenses can't funnel him in any one direction, can't force him into uncomfortable shots, can't take away a key weapon because Luka has them all. And speaking of offensive masterminds, Gilbert Arenas knows exactly what it takes to be an elite scorer. A three-time All-Star and one of the most creative offensive weapons of his era, Arenas built his career off his ability to break down defenses. But when it comes to Luka Doncic, even Arenas sees something different. That right there is what separates good players from generational ones. Arenas makes an incredible comparison. He likens Luka's patience and mind games to Kobe Bryant's legendary pump fake. Think about that. Kobe's pump fake wasn't just a move, it was a psychological weapon. Defenders knew it was coming, and yet they still fell for it. He controlled their movements, forced them into mistakes, made them jump when they shouldn't, and that's exactly what Luka does to defenses. He makes defenders think instead of react. He waits them out, knowing that eventually they'll flinch, they'll hesitate, they'll make a mistake, and when they do, Luka has already capitalized. And if you want to understand just how much Luka's dominance is shaping the next generation, look no further than incoming rookies. When Stefan Castle was asked which NBA player he was most excited to match up against, he didn't hesitate. A rookie walking into the league for the first time and already identifying Luka as the benchmark, that's not just respect, that's influence. Luka isn't just admired by the next wave of NBA talent. They're studying him, they're measuring themselves against him. He's already become the test for young stars. And that's the ultimate sign of greatness, because when rookies aren't just excited to meet you but want to prove themselves against you, that means you're no longer just an elite player, you're the standard. And at just 26 years old, Luka Doncic has already reached that level. Veteran NBA players have seen it all. They've gone up against the best, shared the court with future Hall of Famers, and witnessed generational talent firsthand. So when Wes Matthews, someone with over a decade of NBA experience, first got a glimpse of Luka's vision, his reaction said it all. That's pure basketball IQ. No eye contact, no signal, no hesitation, just a perfect no-look pass. Before Matthews even realized he was open. And that's the thing, this wasn't in an NBA game, this wasn't film study, this wasn't even organized practice, this was pickup, and yet Luka was already operating like a seasoned NBA superstar. That's why Matthews' reaction was so raw, because when a 10-plus year NBA veteran sees something he's never seen before, that's when you know you're watching greatness. And Jalen Brunson, he's lived it. Brunson didn't just watch Luka from afar, he shared the court with him in Dallas. He saw firsthand how special Luka was. And from day one, he realized Luka was different. That's how great Luka is. He doesn't just impress his teammates, he makes them question themselves. Brunson describes what every defender has felt when guarding Luka. It looks slow, but he's completely in control. He's not the fastest, not the most explosive, doesn't blow by defenders like prime Derrick Rose or John Wall, but it doesn't matter. Because Luka doesn't rely on athleticism, he relies on manipulation. He puts defenders on his hip, controls their movement, stops and starts until they're off balance, forces them into decisions they don't want to make. People see Luka frustrated, but they don't see what causes it. They don't see how much contact he takes every game. They don't see how inconsistent officiating affects him. And Brunson, like many of Luka's peers, understands that these things shouldn't overshadow his greatness, because at the end of the day, Luka Doncic isn't just another young star. He's already one of the most respected players in the NBA, from Hall of Famers to rising stars. From teammates to rivals, the basketball world isn't just watching Luka. Please like and subscribe for more NBA-related updates.